Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and narrow pining, till he appeared and the soul felt his worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices. Oh, yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Divine, all night divine. Fall on your knees. Oh, voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night. Oh, night divine.
Christmas, everybody, and welcome to Messiah Community Church's Christmas special, where we focus on the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Today, we are going to talk about his birth, the purpose of his life, and give you an opportunity to invite him into yours. Stick with us as we celebrate Jesus.
Long ago, in a town called Nazareth, there lived a young woman named Mary. One day, a great light appeared, and the angel Gabriel stood before her. "Do not be afraid," said the angel. "I bring you joyful news. God has chosen you to be the mother of his son. You will have a baby, and you must call him Jesus." In the same town, there lived a carpenter named Joseph. Joseph loved Mary very much. He was going to marry her. The angel came to visit Joseph and told him that Mary was going to have God's son. Later, Joseph came to see Mary and told her what the angel had said. One day, a message came from the governor of the land. All the people had to go back to the place where they had been born so they could be counted. Joseph was worried. He and Mary would have to go to Bethlehem. This was a long way away, and Mary was almost ready to have her baby. They set off early the next morning. Joseph led the way. Mary rode on a donkey. The road was long and hard. They didn't reach Bethlehem until the evening. The town was full of people. Joseph tried everywhere to find a place to stay, but all the rooms were taken. Mary was so tired, she could hardly stay awake. At last, an innkeeper said, "All my rooms are full, but you can use my stable. It is clean and warm in there." Joseph thanked him, and they went inside. All around them, cows and donkeys lay peacefully asleep. The hay was soft and smelled sweet. Mary and Joseph lay down and rested. In the night, Mary gave birth to her baby. It was a boy, as the angel had said. They named him, what did they name him? Jesus. Mary wrapped him in a blanket and laid him in a manger where it was soft and warm. Mary and Joseph watched over Jesus lovingly. They knew he was a very special baby. Out on the hillside above the town, some shepherds were looking after their sheep. Suddenly, the sky was filled with light, and an angel appeared. The shepherds fell to the ground in fear, but the angel said, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news. Today, a child is born. He is the Son of God. You will find him in Bethlehem, lying in a manger." The shepherds gazed in wonder as the sky was filled with angels singing. "We must go and find this child," said one. "We can take one of our newborn lambs as a gift." They went to Bethlehem and found Jesus in the stable with Mary and Joseph. They fell to their knees and offered their gift. Far away in an eastern land lived some wise men. One night they saw a bright star in the sky. They wanted to know what it meant. They looked in their books for the answer. "It means that a new king has been born," they said. "We must go and look for him so we can worship him. The star will guide us." The wise men set off on their journey. The star shone brightly in front of them by day and by night. They came to the palace of King Herod, who said to them, "You must find the new king. Then tell me where he is." King Herod was not very pleased. You see his face? The wise men followed the star for many miles. It stopped right over the stable where Jesus lay. "We are looking for the newborn king," they said. "A bright star has guided us from afar." Joseph led them into the stable. They knelt before Jesus and offered him some very special gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The next day, the wise men set out for King Herod's palace. They stopped to rest, and while they were asleep, an angel came to them in a dream. "Do not go back to Herod," the angel warned. "He does not want Jesus to be king." The wise men decided to go home a different way. Mary and Joseph were very proud and happy. They knew their baby was really the Son of God. They knew he was very special and that he would have important work to do when he grew up. They also knew that Jesus would be loved throughout the world and that people would remember his birth as a time of happiness and peace. The end.
Christmas trees and even wreaths are things we always see to indicate Christmas Day. But what does it really mean? There's a story of where love begins. Truly is love's birthday. Garden light and stars just decorate. Every time I see a candy cane hanging on a tree, I can't help thinking of the one who gave his life for me. 'Cause everything about a candy cane, from its color to its shape, reminds me of my Savior's love. That's why I celebrate. A shepherd born among
Matthew 1:23 says, "Behold, a virgin shall be with child and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel," which means God with us. Christmas is so vitally important, and we make such a big deal about it because it reminds us that Jesus came for us all. So continue to keep your hearts open as Pastor breaks down the word about our Messiah.
It's still the most wonderful time of the year. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's a time of festivities and a time of joy. And people say, why all of the festivities? Why all of the hoopla? Why all the Christmas trees and why all the lights? Because it is the time that we celebrate our Savior's birth. God's solution to the world, God's answer to every problem in all of humanity for all generations. The Lord is come. Trees to remind us that he is eternal. Lights to remind us that he's the light of the world and he is the source of our hope. And so we come to celebrate him, and we want you to celebrate with us. In fact, we're glad that you're celebrating with us. In fact, this is one of the two most important dates on the human calendar. The time when God brought his son into the world to answer all of the world's questions about how in the world is what has gone wrong going to be made right. Every human problem in every generation is being answered in one person. The problems of racism, the problems of global warming, the problems of slavery and sex trafficking, broken marriages and broken hearts are answered in one person, Jesus the Christ, the Savior of the world, the King, the Son of the living God. And that's why we celebrate him. He has come as God's answer into the human story, the human drama of our lives. I don't think any passage could capture it more clearly and powerfully than in Luke chapter 2. And I want to read a few verses that I think will give us some help and some encouragement. So it was that while they were there, the days were completed for her to be delivered, and she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. There was Bethlehem, the little nondescript city. I've been to Bethlehem and had the joy of seeing this nondescript town where God dropped in the Son of God. Little small town, angels, or rather shepherds in the field, little small field, not much bigger than a football field. And why this town, Bethlehem, known as the house of bread, Bethlehem. God was dropping into humanity's hunger, bread to satisfy us, who would be his son, Jesus. And so God brings him into Bethlehem and says that he was wrapped in swaddling clothes. The wrapping of the swaddling clothes was simply a very known thing, so that when people received their lambs for sacrifices, they would wrap that lamb, that slain lamb, for the food, the meat to be preserved. And so this wrapping was a symbol and a suggestion that this lamb would be slain someday, that he was the sacrifice for the world. Luke continues, now there were in the same country shepherds living out in the fields, watching over their flock by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. Then the angel said to them, do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people. You might be wondering, why shepherds? Shepherds were the lowest caste in society. God always does his best work, his greatest moves, his most wonderful revelations among the humble, among the lowly, among those who have not a lot, because they probably will express more faith. They're more likely to believe God. And so God brings into their midst this great answer for humanity's needs and problems. And when God moved, these shepherds were aware and they were available to the revelation of God, because they would become some of the first evangelists on the earth to tell the whole world that God has come into our midst. The Savior, the King has come. They would echo the message of God's salvation plan. They said, "Don't be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy." I love that. Good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people. He's a Savior for everyone, no matter your race or ethnicity, your status in life, or your place in the world. God was bringing an answer for everybody. For there is born to you this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. The angels began to say to these shepherds, God has brought to you, I love this, a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. This was not new language to them, a Savior. This word Savior was often used to refer to deities and to refer to great political leaders. And they said, God has brought his own Savior. He's brought to you a Savior, a sovereign, a deliverer, someone who would be a protector. You see, the world has been crying out for a leader for many, many years, just like we do in our day and time. The world's been looking for a king, a righteous leader, someone who would make a difference, someone who would bring answers. And the angel said, the Lord has sent to you. He's been born this day in the city of David, a Savior. He's not just any Savior. He's not like the kings who couldn't be counted on to do what was right and just and fair. This Savior, this deliverer, this sovereign, this potentate, he says, who is Christ the Lord. Christ means Messiah. Lord simply means he's the owner. He is he's the greatest authority. God sent his Son. In fact, the Bible teaches us that God himself came down, because Jesus is the Son of God. He is God in human flesh. One writer called him, he says, he shall be called Emmanuel, which means God with us. After all of this experience, the angels, rather the shepherds, said, hey, let us now go to Bethlehem. God has given us this revelation. Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has come to pass, which the Lord has made known to us. I want to extend an invitation to you. Come and see. Come and adore him one more time. Come celebrate one more time this answer, this hope of the world. No matter what you're going through, no matter how challenging life has been for you, no matter how uncertain times are around us, come and adore him. God has sent hope into the world. He has sent life into the world. He has sent the answer for every problem that you or I could ever face. He has sent Emmanuel. He has sent his Savior, his King, the one who's gonna redeem all of humanity. He's gonna make it right, and he's gonna make it better, and he'll do it in your life if you would dare to come and adore him. Join us as we sing about Emmanuel, and won't you adore him with us?
For unto us a child is born, and a son is given, and his name shall be called Emmanuel.
Come, let us adore him. Kneel down before him. Worship and adore him. Come, let us adore
Christmas, everybody!
Silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woven mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelash.